Hello. Welcome to the podcast from Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita Guarin. And today's episode 176. And we just started yesterday the conversation about, well, why could be stressful to actually be successful? Why can be stressful to be successful? I like that. Anyway, so today is the second episode. And yesterday I was talking about setting goals. And you could be, well, stressful to set goals because we are afraid of failure. That is what I want to talk about today. So fear overall, it's what they say, false evidence appearing real. But fear is also something that is holding us alive, right? So it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do, and so I'm in control, and I'm safe. So everything is all about survival, isn't it? We just need to be in line and do as we need to do, and we'll be good. Well, setting goals and being successful can bring a lot of fear because that is stepping out of line. So I'm inviting you now to really think about your environment that you grew up. Yeah, I know. I'm like a broken record, but that's the problem. We are have those records and they need to be fixed. So if you come from a family that success was very important, you need to go to school, you need to have a good job, you need to have a house, a family, the whole, the whole everything, all that, and is being expected from you. That's mean you can't fail. If you fail, well, then it's going to be really bad because then you are disgraced to a family. To you are disgraced to a family that you created yourself. You are disgraced to environment. I mean, to your community, to your maybe a workplace, and so you keeping yourself small. I'm like, yeah, well, I would love to be more successful. I would like to have this position in the workplace. I would like to, make all this money and or have titles or have accomplished a lot or something that even has to do anything with money. Like I want to write a book. I mean, maybe I will make no sales, but that will be really stepping out and showing myself off. And that is very scary because we will get criticized. Definitely. Everybody have their own opinion. Um, so how is that you deal with that? So first you need to identify where really this is coming from. If you are that kind of person that grew up in the environment that you being always validated, celebrated for who you are, and you be just being loved, no matter what you did, you don't have that problem. You're like, I'm just doing me. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I not. That's fine. But a lot of us, if you're one of them, it could be very painful to even start something new, even to think that you want to be successful. Because if you come from an environment that, let's say, your parents were not really such a big success and has this position and money, and or like in case of writing, well, they were not writers, so I should not be writing myself because there's a loyalty behind it. That survival instinct that tells you that you should not step out of the boundaries. Because if you will step out, you misbehave, you will be, well, pushed away, and you will not survive. Because as children, we know we depend on others. If you're not going to feed the child's going to die. So we will do everything in order to please our caregivers so we will survive. So if they continuously saying that nobody in our family went to college, there is no way are you going to break this loyalty and break the rules and tell yourself, yes, I'm going to go to college. That will be very hard for you to do, unless you're a very strong individual. So kudos to you. So the fear of failure also could be that you've been actually pushed to go to that college and you need to, like I mentioned at the beginning, and there's a lot of expectations. So you're like, well, if I'm going to fail, what are they going to think about me? I don't want to fail, so hence I'm not even going to do it. So what, yes, I'm sure by now, I mean, been talking for a while here, so you got the point. It's like, okay, well, great, we got this. What are we going to do about this? So what I would recommend making a list. I know, I love lists. So but why I love lists? Because it really tells you, and you create a space for yourself to really acknowledge things, really see what happened. And when you pay attention to something, then you can separate that thing from yourself. Else, you put a label on it, and then you can heal that. You can work with that. If you're not looking something to be worked, there's nothing to work with. So then this is just running your in the back of your head, continuously doing the same thing, and you're wondering why. So start paying attention what you do and what you think, but also those lists that should inspire you, but also point things out. We have a difficulty of acknowledging us and acknowledging the things that we do because we always pay attention to something that's bad happen. But now it's time for us to start paying attention what happened. So I recommend you to write a list of things that where you were afraid of failure and you actually failed. This could be a very painful list. But then next to that, because you see what's happening is you creating this environment for yourself, like what's the worst thing that can happen? And I recommend you to write that list. What's the worst that can happen in some situation? And so you write this, what the worst happened, right? Like you wanted to have you wanted to write a book and you didn't write a book. You wanted to get to college and you didn't get to college. You wanted to do this and you did, or like I wanted to get promotion and I didn't get promotion. All of these things, I don't think you need to go all the way from all of your life, but like you just get few things, 2 or 3 things that happen like within a year or two, if you remember. And you write next to this, like, okay, what did I do? What didn't happen? How did that make me feel? And then here's the point. What happened after that? Because you see, here's what's important. You need to prove to yourself that you survived. You still went to work. You still got up. I'm assuming, otherwise you will not be listening to this video. And if you went through the whole thing, like, yes, and I didn't get a relationship and I fell in that, and 3 months I was, in bed and didn't want to get up, that's fine. But if you're watching this video, that means you survived. I really want you to pay attention to this. That's mean that the next thing that you're afraid to move towards you're afraid of that failure. It may happen, but you're prepared for that. You will survive. Nothing bad will happen. Of course, depends on the things what you're thinking, how it will influence other people. I definitely would not recommend you to do some harmful things. But also, if you're like, well, what I want to do, I'm afraid because it will influence other people. How about you sit down with those people and talk it through it? And then you come up with the worst thing that can happen, how you, both of you, or 5 of you will mitigate that. And don't be afraid to ask that, because there's nothing worse than holding yourself back and not doing it. And then when you like, what they say about to die, and then you realize you didn't do what you wanted to do and how silly that was now, it will be too late. So don't do this to yourself. And also remind how many times you already tried to do something like you thought to do it, but then later on you caught yourself like, I should have done it, but now it's too late. Don't do that again. Don't do it. So if you're still listening, thank you so much for coming in here and listening to me. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Send it to someone if needs to hear it. And leave me a comment below and tell me what is a fear that you had, probably a fear of failure, that you overcome and how you did that, because I would love to hear how you did that. And of course, that could help other people, because when we share our experiences, we realize we're not the only ones that have those problems, but also we get inspired and inspire other people to be better selves.